You're watching this video because your relationship has gotten to a point that entered the territory of no contact. And right now you're wondering, how long should the no contact be? Is it okay for you to call your partner today, maybe tomorrow, next week, a month from now, a year from now? I have just the right answer for you. And this answer might surprise you because the answer that I'm gonna give you is completely different than everything else that you have heard. And to top it off, there is no link in the bio, there is no second part, there is nothing else. Everything that I'm gonna say is comprised in this video, and I'm gonna give you all the answers. And by the end of this video, I'll promise you that if you follow what I'm gonna say, everything will be fine. So without further ado, let's get started and let's talk about how long should the no contact be, and if it's a right time for you to maybe send a text. So before I start, I want to give you guys a little bit of metaphor that kind of helps you better picture this no contact. So imagine that you have your computer. Every one of us has a computer, a phone, or an electronic device for that matter. And imagine your electronic device, your computer, or your game stops functioning. It just freezes. What will you do? You first check everything. Imagine you're writing something, writing a paper, or you're watching a video, or you're playing a game, and then it just suddenly freezes. What will you do? The first thing that comes into the mind, okay, let's try to press every single button. That's what we do. We press every single button if it has button, trying to adjust the volume, maybe turn off the screen, turn it back on. But once it doesn't work, the next best solution for us is to power it off and power it back on, with the hope of everything going back to its original state, original setting. Maybe just this problem is gonna go away. But think about it this way. Imagine if you did this, you turn it back off, you turn it back on, and nothing is fixed. It still carries out the same problem. Everything is frozen, you're not able to do anything. What will you do? You try to turn it back off and turn it back on again. Same issue. Turn it back off, turn it back on. Same issue. What are you going to do? You're going to go online, read different things, try to troubleshoot it. But every time you're troubleshooting it, nothing is working. The next best solution that you have is to contact customer support or send your device for repair. But even if you send it for repair and the same issues comes up over and over again, what are you going to do? You're going to throw it away. Try to find a new product that will fulfill what that original product was doing for you. But think about it this way. So put that aside. Let's look at it this way. Imagine you're doing your work, watching your TV, playing your game, or writing your paper. Your computer freezes. It's going to piss you off, by the way. Either one of these scenarios, you're going to get pissed off. But you put that aside. What will you do? You will reset it, turn it off, turn it back on. And what will happen after that? It's going to get fixed. It's not going to bring back, it's not going to be 100% like before. You're not going to immediately jump back where you left off. But at least you're able to continue. You're able to bring up your work, continue what you were doing, and maybe in a day or two, maybe in a couple of hours, couple of minutes, you will completely forget about it, that your computer was ever functioning. Tell me on top of your head, when was the last time your computer froze? You can't remember it, but it happened before. So the point of no contact is the same thing. This is what we're trying to do. You shouldn't wait 21 days. You shouldn't wait 30 days. You shouldn't wait a week, a month, or a year. You should wait for as long as you're able to power back on yourself and not carry on the problem that you were having before. Does that make sense? Because the goal of us ending the no contact time period is for us to be able to reflect on our relationship, not from our perspective, not from their perspective, but from an outside perspective, making it function the way that it was. And if you sit down with yourself and think about why is it that you want to end the no contact list and you see that everything, every reasoning that you have is comes from your perspective or your partner's perspective, then it's still too early to contact your partner. The goal is for you to recognize you, sit down with yourself, think about your relationship. What was that your relationship was giving you? What is it that you want to give to your relationship? And at what point can you return to that relationship without your internal biases? Because the moment that you bring your internal biases back to the relationship, famous sentence will be said. It's always this way with you. I knew this will happen. I knew I shouldn't have picked up your phone. I knew I shouldn't have responded to you. I knew you're not going to change. I knew this is what always happens. You don't want that. And if you think that you're at the stage that if you end your no contact, you're going to bring back your same packages to the relationship, then it's not the right time for you. If right now all you think is about you and how much you miss your partner and how much you want your partner back because you can't sleep, because you can't eat, because you can't do this, that, you're being selfish. You're not thinking about the relationship. You just want to get back with your partner so you can fulfill your own desires, not your relationship's desires, not your relationship's perspective, not your relationship's issue, not your partner's sake. This is all because you are at this point feeling selfish about you. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just us human. That's how we feel. That's how we act sometimes. It's our nature. Sometimes we do things without us even thinking about it. So being selfish doesn't mean that you're a bad person. That just means that at this point, you are still not ready to take the next step and contact your partner. Now, for some people, it may take 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, 2 months, but it has to be about a time that you feel ready to go back to the relationship without your internal biases. So here's what I would do. Here's my recommendation that can let you understand, because here's the thing. Sometimes we're not able to recognize that, okay, do I have my internal biases, or am I a reset person ready to go back without any packages? And the best way to do it is to sit down, grab a pen and a paper, and write down every single reason that you feel your relationship went downhill. Every single reason that you feel that your relationship might have not worked because of this. Write those things down. And then write down your own feeling. This is what I feel after breakup. This is how I miss her. This is how it's affecting me. Okay, now you have kind of a viewpoint based on a third person perspective, recognizing what the relationship was suffering from, your own perspective, what do you suffer on? And then write down your partner's perspective. Now, you're not going to be 100% sure of it, but try to at least imagine a couple of things. We all have feelings, we all have emotions, so we can recognize other people's feelings and other people's emotion. And the goal is for you to do the best that you can to recognize what did your partner went through, and then give yourself time. And every time you feel like, is it the right time for me to go back, look at those things. Look at your emotion. Are you going back because of your emotion? Are you going back because of your partner's emotion? Or are you going back because now you understand that the reason your relationship did not work was because of this, and you're ready to hit the reset button for yourself? This is not an easy task. The no contact period time, it's difficult. So don't expect it to be easy on you. And if you feel sad, if you feel overwhelmed, if you just want to cry, if you want to just not eat or do things in that norm, recognize that it's okay. Recognize that it can end, but you have to give yourself time. You have to give yourself time to not go back to the relationship for the same reasons. You have to give your time to not go back to the relationship for the wrong reasons. It's supposed to be going back to the relationship for the right reasons. because now you understand your issues. And here's the thing. If you sit down with yourself, you go through that relationship, and there is absolutely no way you can understand what went wrong, and your partner is not responding, and you did everything that you can. Maybe it's time to sit down and reflect on the relationship itself. Was it healthy for you? Was it not healthy for you? Because sometimes, this is again part of us being human, sometimes there is so much good things happening that we neglect those bad things and unhealthy things. And sometimes there's so much unhealthy things happening that we neglect the good things. That can work in other way around. Sometimes one bad thing happens and you forget all the good things, and sometimes one good thing happens and you forget all the bad things. So it's important for you to reflect on your relationship. What does your relationship mean to you? Was it really helping you to get to the place that you want to get? If the answer is yes, by all means, go through those steps and the no contact list when those steps are not internally or externally, but rather from a higher standpoint, recognizing both perspective. As always, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I try to post content as much as I can, and I assume that if you like this video, you just might like this video next. So be sure to watch it and let me know if I was right or wrong.